Tom, good morning. Thanks again for joining us. KJ Jefferson this season has been just a major piece, and I know he was bottled up with the rest of that offense on Saturday, but you look at what this team is, Tom, they are 7-3 with the toughest schedule in college football. How quickly has Sam Pittman been able to turn this around, and just how satisfying is it if you're an Arkansas Razorback fan waking up on a Monday morning knowing you beat LSU in their place?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. I was thinking about this last night when I was considering what all we would talk about today, and it was this. Let's go back to our preseason expectations. I said 6-6 would be a solid record, and if they exceeded that, then they would have had a good season, maybe borderline great season for the expectations. So here they are, 7-3, 1 2-point conversion away from Ole Miss from being 8-2, and beyond basically everyone's expectations, maybe outside of Coach Pittman and some of the players. But when you feel like you're a gritty team, when you feel like, oh, we're struggling tonight, we can't find a way to move the ball, their pressure, everything we're trying to do to defeat this pressure is not working. They're tackling our backs on our swing passes for 1-yard gains and losses. We can't get the ball to Traylon Burks very successfully. The run game, there was a bunch of 1-yard and 2-yard gains in the run game. And yet, KJ Jefferson, to me, there was no other answer for Arkansas offense other than KJ Jefferson making somebody miss and then creating a play. They're going to have to face the same thing against Alabama, I would suspect, because that's got to be in their arsenal. But the fact that they found a way to win that game, and now our 2-0 in trophy games, you know there's a backbone, you know there's a belief in this team. And if you're a Razorback fan, you've got to be extremely satisfied. I heard you're talking about Texas. Yeah, I think Texas inherited the same type of thing, and I expect there's going to be roster churn there. And can Steve Sarkisian make the players believe the way Sam Pittman did? That's going to be a real challenge for them.
And what you're also talking about, Tom, is mental toughness. It's not just being able to physically take and absorb shots and then deliver them yourselves. What you're talking about is when the chips are down late in the ball game, mentally finding the fortitude to win these games, and that's what we've seen Sam Pittman turn around as much as anything from a Chad Morris program that didn't believe in themselves at all.
No question. And it took great mental toughness to be on the road to do what they did. And I think it all started with the defense locking in the second half in particular. I didn't think their touchdown was particularly, I think you could call face guarding against Malik Chavis, and maybe that's what that was, but Jack Besh clearly pushed off at the end of that play and maybe should have been offsetting. But anyway, it started with the defense and getting a little pressure on Nussmeier and shutting them down for the most part in the second half. And even though Tyrion Davis-Price got 100 yards, that was a hard-earned 100 yards, a lot of 2, 3, 4-yard runs. So it was different than last year's game where they controlled the game with the run. In this game, they just kept trying it. And honestly, I think if Max Johnson played the whole game, they'd have had a better chance to win. That's just me. I don't know the internal workings of their program, but it seemed to me like after 2 series, they're like, okay, let's give Nussmeier a shot. And it was crazy. On TV, they're like, oh, they found the right buttons. They've got momentum now with Nussmeier. He actually did not play that well. He eluded the Joe Fouché near sack and threw the touchdown pass, and he's got some agility in the pocket. But he's got a ways to go, and I know the talent is there. It's just that on this day, the mental fortitude of the Razorbacks won the day.
Yeah. We played Chuck Barrett's final call at the top of the hour and played again at the top of the next hour. And Arkansas once again has a game that comes down to the final play of the game that decides the outcome. The missed kick for State. Arkansas's Cam Little makes the kick here. Let's talk about Cam Little. Goes 3 for 3, the difference in the ball game. And after watching the opponent last week, and he put his arm around that kicker's shoulder a week ago, he finds a way to put it through the pipes with a game on the line. What can you say about the young kicker for Arkansas, who once again, back-to-back weeks, can arguably be the difference in the ball game?
Yeah, he is on his way to creating a legend for himself at Arkansas. especially if he has two or three more years of this magnitude. I think he's 17 of 21 now. When he started 8-8, I think Sam Pittman might have made the comment, I'm not going to jinx this kid. He doesn't miss. Well, he missed a couple, and I think there was a miss somewhere along the Mississippi State game. If he goes 4 for 4 in that game, then they've got to score a touchdown on the way back down. But anyway, he's had a great season. You could tell he came to college and started a deal where he's going to contribute to Down syndrome with every field goal he makes. Who thinks of doing that? So just a fantastic start to his career, and now he's got a game winner under his belt, and he's got kind of this style about him with the like the 3-point shot make motion that you do, and I don't know. He seems like he's a really cool kid.
So you mentioned the celebration. Tom, do either you or Tommy know what the gritty dance is? Assuming neither of y'all know what that is. The gritty dance. Are you familiar with that?
Probably too old.
Tom, are you familiar with that?
I don't even know what you're saying. I think you're saying gritty dance.
Yeah,
but
gritty dance. All right, so Cam did that. Cam did that following the game-winning kick, and then Trey and some of the other guys did it with, and that was really started by LSU's Justin Jefferson. So in a sense, he was stepping on the graves of a bunch of Tiger fans following that win. And I saw Arkansas fans are also contributing to the Down syndrome organization that he donates to. I saw some fans, and he was retweeting that, which I thought was kind of cool. I want to get back to the offense here for a sec, Tom. Arkansas did not do a great job of blitzing or picking up blitzes. I heard Sam talk about the interior line and the wide receivers. They just didn't block up. If you're Alabama and you see that on film, because this was really the first time all season that a team blitzed Arkansas consistently, I would do something very similar to what LSU was able to do. Would you not?
If you're Alabama and then that's in your arsenal, you got to do. You do it until Arkansas proves that they can stop it. Those linebackers are running free on so many plays, and I'm sure there was a lot of run blitzing that worked as well. So this week, among all the other things Arkansas needs to work on, is their blitz beating package, because all the side work from it, like throwing to the backs, little tunnel screens. LSU was just running at it. And one time when KJ eluded the sack from Damone Clark, nobody accounted for Dominic Johnson, and it's a touchdown. So what you've got to do is try to get a hat on a hat, and then the ones that are free, KJ's got to make them miss, and then you make them pay because there's lack of coverage downfield.
Yeah.
Tom, while the offense didn't really get anything going on Saturday, another game, KJ Jefferson doesn't turn the ball over. And you look at his passing efficiency, it's, I think, 4th in the SEC, 13th in the country. This is a guy that a lot of people didn't expect much out of this season, yet he has just come to play. And again, another not the most passing yards, but just efficient when it comes to throwing the football. How much improvement have we seen from him, and how pivotal has it been for the growth of this offense in 2021?
Yeah, KJ's performance is probably, it ranks in it might be the most significant factor in Arkansas's exceeding expectations is KJ Jefferson's play. I saw preseason, all the quarterback situations of every school ranked, and they were, I want to say 12th, maybe 13th in some of these rankings, below Vanderbilt, below Missouri, and I know Basilak's been injured and all, but I had him 9th. I had him above Texas A&M, and I think when you look back, if you look, when the season's over, I think he's going to rank in maybe the top 6 in the quarterback situations of every school in the SEC. He's been that good. His pass completion percentage is now exactly at what Kendall Briles expected, and just the fact that he basically willed his team to a win in a low-scoring slugfest game where they were having real trouble moving the ball. Just his ability to get away from the blitzes is what won the game for them. So I can't say enough about KJ Jefferson's work. I think next year he'll go in with this talk about, best quarterbacks in the SEC. KJ Jefferson will be in that talk. And just really happy for the kid that he waited it out, waited his turn. They brought Felipe Franks in ahead of him, and he just was patient. He liked what was presented to him, at Arkansas, and now he's a star in the league.
So we'll talk more about Bama when we have another conversation Thursday morning with you. But, throughout this week, what, if anything, needs to be said by Sam Pittman and the staff to truly make this team believe they can go to Alabama and win?
Yeah, well, he's been coaching for a while. He knows the buttons to push. We know that. I guess you just talk about we haven't beaten them in a while, but it's not a trophy game. But I think there was something Sam Pittman has done on these trophy game deals to really make the guys, the mental fortitude that we talked about. So this is a huge uphill climb. They're going to have some breaks. As we talked about a moment ago, they were 3-0 in the takeaway margin. I mentioned to somebody a week or two ago, I think there have been fewer turnovers in Arkansas games than maybe any other team in the country, because Arkansas did not have a ton of takeaways, but they haven't turned the ball over either. And a 3-0 margin in a game like last week is, as we all know, critical. And the Buster Brown play, beautifully positioned. Miles Slusher's interception was a very athletic, instinctive play, breaking on that ball. Nussmeier probably telegraphed that pass to Trey Palmer a little bit. And then, of course, they make a mistake. I mean, they're on the move, and they go to the Wildcat, and that's a snap that a quarterback is used to catching over and over and over, but Davis Price wasn't used to it, and he probably had his eyes on where he was headed, and he didn't bring it in, and Greg Brooks beats him to the ball. So those three takeaways were massive, and Arkansas will need some breaks. They'll need to cut down on their penalties, because this is you look at the negatives on this team, penalties is one of those. But win the turnover battle, cut down on your penalties, and then just have a few breaks go your way. And they've got to have some stuff in their arsenal, like the fake field goal, beautiful. They've got to have a few things like that, and just kind of get Alabama on the back foot a little. They've done that so infrequently in the last 14 years. A bevy of things will have to go their way, right?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. Tom, we'll talk more about the Crimson Tide on Thursday. Appreciate your time, as always, recapping the Saturday football game.
Sounds good.
We're back and better than ever. A new web interface to start the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all basketball and football action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV50 to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, and baseball postseason, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.